Have you ever agreed to something you didn't want to do, and the moment the words left your mouth, you wondered, why did I just say that? Or maybe you felt a sudden crushing wave of guilt or obligation that seemed to appear out of thin air. What if I told you these feelings aren't actually yours? What if I told you that your emotions have been hijacked? That what you think is guilt or kindness is actually the result of a deliberate, invisible influence pulling the strings of your mind? This isn't science fiction. This is the world of dark psychology. It is a hidden landscape of manipulation and that operates just beneath the surface of your daily conversations with your boss, your friends, and even the people you love. And the most unsettling part, you have likely been a target for years without ever realizing it. Today, we aren't just going to talk about theory, we are going to expose the exact step by step techniques manipulators use to hack your brain. We are going to dismantle theory toolkit, but I have to warn you, once you understand how these mechanics work, you can never unsee them. By the end of this video, you will see your relationships and the people in them in a terrifyingly different light. Are you ready to see the truth? Let's start with a scenario that seems harmless. In fact, it's designed to look harmless. A coworker asks for a favor, a small one. Hey, could you just watch my desk for 5 minutes? It's no big deal, you're a nice person. You say yes. The next day, it's 10 minutes. A week later, they ask you to handle a specific part of their project, casually reminding you were so helpful last time. You're the only one I trust with this. Fast forward 2 weeks. You are drowning in their work. You feel resentful. You're stressed. But when you try to say no, your throat tightens. You can't do it. Why? This is a classic manipulation tactic known as the foot in the door technique. It relies on a psychological principle called cognitive consistency. Here is the science. When you agreed to that first tiny request, your brain subconsciously labeled you as a helpful person. It became part of your identity. When the larger request comes, your brain panics. If you say no now, it contradicts the label you just accepted. This creates cognitive dissonance, a mental discomfort that humans will do almost anything to avoid. The manipulator isn't asking for a favor. They are trapping you inside your own desire to be consistent. They aren't forcing you. They are letting your own brain force you, but the foot in the door is just the entry level. It exploits your need to be consistent. The next technique is far more dangerous because it exploits your need to be good and it turns your kindness into a prison. Let's stop. The full truth is often temporary. If you want the next level, like and subscribe now. Don't be the last to possess it. Talk about emotional debt. Imagine someone does something incredibly nice for you. Something you didn't ask for. Maybe they buy you an expensive watch, or they drive 2 hours out of their way to fix your flat tire. In the moment, it feels amazing. You feel seen, you feel cared for, but then the invoice arrives a week later. They ask for something big, something that crosses your boundaries, something that makes you uncomfortable, and the moment you hesitate, you are hit with the line, really? After everything I've done for you? Suddenly, you are flooded with guilt. You feel heavy. You feel like you owe them. This is called weaponized reciprocity. The principle of reciprocity is a fundamental social rule. Humans are hardwired to give back what we receive. It's how civilization works. But in dark psychology, manipulators hack this rule. They give strategically to create a sense of unpayable obligation in their eyes. That gift wasn't a gift, it was a loan with an unstated massive interest rate that they can call in at any time. They aren't being kind. They are setting a trap. You are no longer making a free choice. You are trying to pay off a debt you never signed a contract for. And yet, as heavy as that guilt feels, you still know what's real. You know they gave you a gift, and you know you feel bad. But what happens when a manipulator decides to attack your very grip on reality itself? What happens when they make you question your own sanity? Have you ever been in an argument where you started out feeling completely certain of your facts only to end up confused, apologizing, and wondering if you're the problem? This dizzying experience has a name. It is the crown jewel of emotional control. Gaslighting. Gaslighting isn't just lying, it is a systematic dismantling of your perception. A gaslighter's goal is to become your source of reality. They will deny things they said, Even if you have text messages to prove it, they will tell you you're too sensitive, accuracy, or remembering it wrong. Let's look at the anatomy of this attack. You bring up a hurtful comment they made yesterday, the response. I never said that. You have a terrible memory. You're always making things up to start a fight, not as the shift. The conversation is no longer about what they did. The conversation is now about your memory. They have successfully moved the goalpost. Over time, this constant questioning erodes your self-trust. You stop trusting your eyes, you stop trusting your memory. You start to think, maybe I am too sensitive, maybe I am the problem. Once you doubt your own mind, you become dependent on their version of the truth. That is the ultimate form of control. Gaslighting breaks you down, but the next tactic is the one that hooks you in. It's the reason why, even when you know someone is bad for you, you just can't seem to leave it. Uses your brain's own chemistry against you. You're here because you see the game. Validate that instinct. Hit like if you're ready for the strategy. Subscribe. Why do we stay? Why do we return to people who manipulate us? It's because they exploit our biology. Let's talk about love bombing and its dark twin, intermittent reinforcement. At the beginning, it's paradise. They shower you with affection, constant texts, extravagant praise. They tell you that you are their soulmate. They've never met anyone like you. Your brain is flooded with dopamine and oxytocin. It is literally intoxicating. You are high on their validation, and then it stops. Text slow down. Warmth turns into cold indifference. They become moody or critical. Your brain, now addicted to that initial high, goes into withdrawal. You panic. You ask yourself, what did I do wrong? How do I get that feeling back? You start working harder. You comply with their demands. You walk on eggshells, and this leads us to negative reinforcement. This isn't about punishment. It's about relief. The manipulator creates a tense, stressful environment. They sigh, they slam doors, they give you the silent treatment. The air in the room feels thick. You feel sick to your stomach, but the moment you do what they want, the moment you apologize for something you didn't do, the sun comes out. They smileth, tension vanishes. Your brain learns a deadly lesson. Compliance equals relief. You aren't staying because you're happy. You are staying because you are addicted to the relief that comes after the pain they caused. It is a cycle of emotional hostage taking. So you are trapped in a cycle of highs and lows, questioning your sanity. But there is one final nail in the coffin, a technique they use to make sure that even if you wanted to leave, you would feel like you have nowhere to go. This is called triangulation. A manipulator knows that if you have a support system, you are harder to control, so they bring a third person into the dynamic to create insecurity in a relationship. They might say, was talking to Alex the other day. Honsly kind of agrees with me that you've been acting crazy lately, or at work Sarah is really gunning for that promotion. She's been here late every night. Do you see what happened? They aren't just informing you, they are creating an imagined conscious. Suddenly it's not you versus the manipulator, it's you vs everyone. This triggers a primal fear of social exclusion. You feel isolated, you feel the need to win back the manipulators' favor to secure your place in the tribe. They position themselves as the prize, forcing you to compete for their approval. So this knowledge is a weapon. Arm yourself now. Subscribe to Advice Psychology. Let's finish the lesson. How do we defend ourselves against weapons we cannot see? The answer is simple, but it requires courage, awareness, and boundaries. Just by watching this video, you have taken the power back. When you can label the behavior, you strip it of its mystery. When someone tries to guilt you with a gift, you can say internally, this is weaponized reciprocity. When someone denies your reality, you can say, this is gaslighting. This internal labeling creates a mental shield. You stop being a participant in their game, and you become an observer. And remember, a boundary is not a threat. A boundary is a definition of what you will accept. A person who respects you will respect your no. A person who lashes out at your no is simply confirming that they were trying to control you all along. The world of dark psychology is complex, but you are not defenseless. Trust your gut, it is your alarm system. If this video helped you see the strings, hit that subscribe button. We are building a community here that sees the truth, and I want you to be a part of it. Click here to watch this next video. Stay safe, stay aware, and I'll see you in the next one.